This video is sponsored by Tokyo Treat and Soccer Pro.
What's up guys, this is Coach Donnie from Elevate Yourself. Welcome to my coach reaction to Kuroko no Basket, where we analyze the amazing artwork, talk about the life lessons from playing sports, and enjoy the athletic journey from the anime. If you're new to this channel, I'm a volleyball coach, volleyball player, and personal trainer who makes volleyball tutorials, jump training videos, and vlogs about my own athletic journey. I know many of you were worried whether I was going to continue watching the series or not, and if you remember from the very first episode, I made a commitment to watch the first 3 episodes before deciding on whether I was going to continue watching Kuroko. Thank you for the additional insight on the names, how they will correlate with the colors of each Miracle Generation color. I really appreciate all the fans like you provide additional background information to appreciate the depth of the story and the characters. So I'll be definitely looking out for those colors for each Miracle Generation player. Thank you for the kind words, and I'm glad I could provide a unique experience and share some of the life lessons that I've learned as a volleyball coach and player and nerd out together on the amazing artwork. If you've been enjoying my videos, please consider supporting my channel by leaving a super thanks comment below, or you can sign up for my Patreon where you'll get early access to all my anime reaction videos and other exclusive content. Now let's get this Kuroko party started.
Teiko Chinako Basketball. I think I gotta get used to that initial 2 piano keys. I'm assuming this is the intro that leads into that electric guitar player. Or unless this is a recap, but I feel like this is the same recap every time. A phantom 6th man. I think someone said in a previous comment from the first episode that there might be different intros similar to Haikyuu every couple episodes, so anytime there is a different intro, please let me know in the comments. I would love to watch that and analyze that. Nandeke koku ni? Trying to work on my Japanese. Oh, the slam dunk there. And the way they animate the path of them running around each other is very well done. I can't emphasize that enough. That's so hard to do, especially from these extreme perspectives. The anime laugh. Okay, so this has got to be the recap here. It's better if I can't win. I like reading the titles because it's fun trying to guess the meaning of the titles of each episode. Is he sick? Or I don't think he's anxious. I don't think this is the type of player that would get nervous. He's like super alpha. Okay, he just probably didn't sleep from being so excited. Oh man, I still get like that. I'll be honest, even though I've been playing volleyball since I was 15, so I'm 37, so 22 years, I still get really anxious before volleyball tournaments. And even though I know I should get a full 7-8 hours of sleep, I'll physically go to bed, but I'll just be tossing and turning because I get too excited. And even though it's frustrating sometimes because you do want to be as well rested as possible for the game the next day, I'm starting to see it in a more positive light that I am still that excited to play volleyball, even though I've been playing for over 20 years. So I can definitely understand where he's coming from. Ooh, Kise. Look at those deltoids. Shoulder muscles there. Oh, what a nice host. Kuroko-chi. I like how honest he is with his emotions. And it doesn't even seem like he's being fake. Unless he is. Yeah, he must be being a little bit fake and sarcastic if Kuroko called him out. I'm going to crush you. I don't know if I already said this, but Kuroko reminds me of the captain that didn't start for Inarizaki, whatever, that team, that player with the gray hair from Haikyuu. I really like those sounds that they make when they're walking on the hardwood. I imagine the sound engineers or the sound actors, they're taking these these shoes and they're just patting on wooden blocks. Let's listen to the sound again. Almost sounds like a gallop of a horse. Takeuchi. Let's see if he gives her any flack for being a female. I forgot how she ended up becoming the coach. Hopefully they review that information again later. Arrangements. Ooh. So this coach is a douchebag coach. I can't stand these type of coaches that just have no respect for the opponent. And to me, that's what greater sportsmanship is about. It's about treating everyone with equal respect. Now, as a player, it's very easy to let your guard down when you know you're playing a weaker team, and probably 90% of the time you're going to beat a team that's going to be weaker than you or doesn't have as great of a reputation. But regardless of how good the other team is, it's really important that you treat them with the same respect as if they were a very, very good team, a championship level team. The main reason is that it's just the right thing to do as a human being. And I can always sense when a coach doesn't respect us. And this is coming from a personal experience where I coached at a high school that was mostly East Asian athletes. And whenever we would walk in a gym, there would always be some coaches that would look at us and would just not take us seriously because, one, we're Asian, and so there's that stereotype that Asians aren't athletic, and then we're on the shorter side. Now, I'm proud to say that we were able to play well enough and I was able to coach our team well enough where we were able to beat 80% of the teams that we meet at tournaments that didn't recognize us or have never seen us play. But you can always tell when they don't respect you when you walk up to the coach and you shake their hand, they don't really make eye contact. They have this look of like, let's just get this over with. And beating those teams was so gratifying. Now, one thing I did notice for the really competitive teams, majority of them actually do treat you with equal respect. Like Archbishop Mini, which is a state level team, and Foothill, which is another very good high school team. Those coaches actually do tend to treat you with respect, regardless of whether you're a strong team or a weak team. So I always found that pretty interesting. But I can definitely relate to Coach Aido. Haha, playing the starters. Yes, I love it. Charge that blue flame. I love her competitiveness. And red hair guy, Kagami, I don't want to get his name wrong. He's getting fired up too. But Kise is going to take him seriously. Oh, he doesn't want to be treated differently. Oh, he's not even going to let Kise play. But I thought Kise was a regular. Oh, and other players are pissed off. That's good. That's it. Kise is more excited about playing the team than being powerful. Haha, now he's trying to challenge them, getting under their skin. Oi. And Kuroko's telling him to get warmed up. Here's another animation trick to emphasize the parts that you want the viewer to fully focus on. So if you look at the strands of the hair that are covering Kise's eyes, if you think about it, you can't really see through those thick chunks of hair. But why does the artist draw the eyes through the hair like the hair is see-through? And it's to help emphasize the intensity of the eyes, but to still make sure you retain the actual physical qualities of the character, like the hair going through. And you notice this when we watched Haikyuu, where sometimes when a player is looking through the net on the other side, you'll see the net pattern, but then the net pattern will disappear when the hands and the face of the opponent is on the other side, because the animator wants you to focus on the player, not on the net. So that's an interesting animation trick or illustration trick that you can also call it. I like how we get to actually see what gyms look like in Japan, because they look so different than they would in America. So just like I suspected, and what we learned from episode 2, I believe, it's all about the small details. If you look at each leg, the calf muscles are different, and the Achilles tendon, which is that tendon that goes on the back of your ankle down to your heel, is different for every leg. And imagine if every player had the exact same calf muscle, or if the player had the same 2 calf muscles and the same 2 Achilles tendons. It would look too robotic, and honestly, it just looks lazy. But you feel the organic, but you feel how each person is kind of standing and shifting their weight differently, and it just feels so much more real, sucks you into that moment. But look at how each calf muscle, one is thicker, one is a little higher, the tendon shadows are different. Those are definitely some details that I appreciate. Oh, is this a player reffing? The sneakiness never gets old. Oh, is he going to be a starting 5 versus not the 6th player? Oh, they're boasting. Who else was boasting? Oh, but Kise knows they're going to be good. I like that panning rotation. Ooh, analyzing their power levels, like Vegeta with the glasses. I can't see everything. So the coach already believes in Kuroko's skills. That's interesting, even though she hasn't really seen him play to his fullest ability. Yes. Another common sound. Oh, whoa, Kuroko gets a steal. He is sneaky. Can he make the layup? Sneaky pass. Oh, so cool. Oh, dang, that was a sick pass. Dude, let's see that again. Let's talk about the framing of this scene. I love how they have like a diagonal cut instead of a horizontal cut. The diagonal cut makes it feel like you have more speed in the action. And then I love how they're zooming in on the eyes of the player, so you get to not just see the overall action, but you get to get into the mind of one of the people here. Now it's time for our halftime snack time from our video sponsors, Tokyo Treat and Sakura-ko, which is a monthly subscription service where you receive authentic Japanese snacks straight from Japan delivered right to your door. Now we'll sample some snacks from Sakura-ko, which is a more authentic selection of Japanese snacks. I'm in a little bit of a salty mood, so I selected some of the more savory snacks, and I love Asian rice crackers. We got some seaweed on the front. Ooh, it's got this really deep green onion flavor. Let's listen to the crunch here. It's sweet, it's savory, it's oniony, it's perfect. I love seafood. We got a little fishy there. Can't read Japanese, so can't wait to see what these taste like. Woo! Got some deep seafood. Smells like stinky algae, which is good.
That one's definitely a fish flavor. That one's on the sweeter side, salty. That one had like a nutty flavor, so I think not just seafood, but a mix of nut and sweetness and sesame. Whoop. I think I spotted a shrimp chip. Now we'll test out some snacks from a more modern selection from Tokyo Treat. It's time for some sweets. They have so many great fruit flavored snacks in the Tokyo Treat boxes. Almost reminds me of like Trix cereal. I did not expect that to have almost like a wafer filling in the center. What an interesting texture. And one thing I love about all these Japanese snacks is that they're not overly sweet. I love red bean. Looks like some type of donut or toast. Oh. They're like little mini donuts. I thought it was gonna look more like that, like a big one. Let's see what it smells like. Buttery, hence the butter. Oh, it's crunchy too. It's like a croissant with a hint of red bean. Never tasted anything like it. Very unique. If you want to try your own authentic Japanese snacks, then use my discount code and link in the description box to get $5 off your first order from Tokyo Treat and Sakura Co. It's also a great way to support the channel because every time you use my discount code and link, I get a small commission and it helps me continue to be a content creator and make better videos for all of you.
Oh, and that behind the back pass, that was smooth. And I love how by the time he dunks it, the net's already through. Oh, he broke the rim. That's some good wood pattern there. Is he better than one of the miracles? The obligatory apology. But I love how he's holding it with so much pride. Look at that smile on his face. Broken hoop in the corner, so symbolic. That's right, man. I love, even the big guy has like a fire into him. Here's another very well illustrated scene that only lasts for about 2 seconds, and every player has different eyes, different haircut. The wrinkles of each leg on the shorts are different, and they're just leaning on the railing differently, and that just takes a lot of effort for a 2-second scene. But why do animators do that? I talked about this during my Haikyuu reaction videos, so we'll talk about it again. Anytime images are repetitive or too cleanly drawn, like a perfectly straight line or a perfect curve, it makes it look robotic because our brains interpret perfection and repetition as inorganic or not organic. Now this is different when you're drawing architecture, like the door and the actual railing and the fence. Those things need to be mostly straight, especially if it's made by a machine, which, you know, steel, those things are made by machines. But when it comes to living things like bodies and plants and animals, you want to make sure that your lines are imperfect because that's how your brain interprets organic material. And the reason why an animator would go through the trouble of drawing 3 different figures versus putting 3 figures leaning in the exact same way, standing the exact same angle, and just changing the colors is because your brain wouldn't interpret those as humans. And the more human-like they make these characters, the more the storyteller and the animators suck you into the world. That must be the Japanese coach stance, just sitting there with the arms crossed. Ooh, they put Kise in after the first point. Whose eye is that? Oh, that's the coach analyzing his power level. They should have a competition between Oikawa and Kise, who can attract the most girls. Wouldn't that be a funny scene if Oikawa and Kise just happen to be in the same building? and they would have a competition of who could attract the most female fans. That would be a scene worth animating. Oh, someone's kicking him in the back. Okay. And Kise has his own enforcer, just like Oikawa did, of keeping him in check. Ooh. Man, look at that. To draw an eyeball, but then to have Kise's face reflected, but to still draw the details of the eyeball. So the iris is the eye muscle that they have. That's why the lines of the iris in the colored part of the eye is kind of scratchy, because those are the muscle strands. To still draw that and the pupil and the glare of the eye while still drawing Kise's face through the eye, that's hard to do. Kagami, okay. His name is Kagami. Kagami or Kagami. You can correct me in the comments. I love that swipe of a steel. There's not that many superpowers so far. This is like pretty realistic. Oh, I like how this upperclassman is, even though he knows Kise is like one of the best players on the team, he's not letting down on him or giving him special treatment. Through the legs pass. Oh, and the slam dunk. Slam dunks never get old. Is he trying to break it? Or is he just hanging on the rim? Another kick to the back. Because he didn't break it. Ooh, Kagami recognizes that he might be more powerful. Bring it on. Oh, wow. Let's watch that again. These passing sequences, they find a way to make it look like a ninja just swiping through. Like you see the streak of the ball, and it's like a blue streak. If I saw that correctly, it happens so fast. Let's watch it again. Yeah, it's like a white streak from Kuroko's pass. Is he gonna break it? It's a competition of who's gonna break the hoop. I like how every point is only a slam dunk. That must be a rule in Japanese basketball. Only slam dunks. The music's pretty good though, they're rocking out. Oh, and I love how the camera's shaking to make you feel like you're in the action. Another, oh look at that, like it's almost like he's like using a blade to pass. Oh dang. So this scene where Kise is running, not only is the camera shaking, yeah, so you got the camera shaking, that's pretty easy to do because you just animate whatever you want and then you have the frame shift automatically. But what's amazing about this scene is that his body's moving at different angles and he's coming towards you, so you have to change the size of his body to become bigger because, right, an object's moving closer to you, it's getting bigger visually. But the sweat is moving off at different angles as he's going. And you'll see the sweat streaks too from the body. But this is a very well done animation. And another slam dunk. That's 4 slam dunks in a row. Ooh, that's a cool analogy for the armor on the defense. I like how he's posting up, playing with glasses. Man, the streaks of his passing, so cool. Another dunk, but he's gonna get blocked. Fade away. Oh, blocked by Kise. Oh, but Kise does a fadeaway right back, and okay, that's right, he was able to study him and copy him. Alright, so I've determined that the swoosh animation is computer generated. It looks too perfect and it doesn't have that natural coloring that you see in a lot of the other coloring of this animation here. Now I'm not mad at them because the switch animations, to have each strand of the shadows change in the thickness and to move organically, that's a lot of effort. And you want to make your swishes almost as perfect as possible to make it feel more realistic. But let's see if the ball is animated by hand or if it's also machine animated. Hard to tell on that one. Come on, give him the ball. Ooh, timeout. I like how Kuroko's physically weak and slow. Okay, he's probably saying this also for Kagami's benefit. That is true. Don't be afraid to take a break and recharge. 25-22. Let's see what the coach says. We get to learn some insights. See what she learned from studying everyone's power levels. That's a typical coach screaming at his players. But it's the coach's fault for underestimating the team. But are they going to worry about Kuroko? Now he's like, Kise's smiling because actually, like, now you get to know what's so good about him. The balance, maybe the energy. Ooh, in-game analysis. Let's see what weakness. Everyone's got a weakness. So he's apologizing for his physically weak state. We get some more insight on Kuroko's ability to disappear and be sneaky. Misdirection of the ball. You're looking at the player, the eyes, instead of the ball. Partly why I chose this animation is because I'm actually a pretty big basketball fan. Not as big as I used to be when I was younger, because now I'm obsessed with volleyball. But I used to watch a lot of basketball in elementary school, middle school, and high school. And one of my favorite players to watch was Magic Johnson. He was such a great passer because his eyes would be looking here and then the ball would be passed somewhere else. And that's what they're talking about, misdirection. And a lot of times we tend to focus on what the player is looking at and not what their hands are doing with the ball. So most importantly, you actually have to watch what the hands are doing, not what the ball is doing, because by the time you watch the ball's already gone. The hand is what's going to tell you where the ball's going to go. So if I'm starting to do that, don't wait for the ball to move. You got to look at where the direction of the hand is, but don't get distracted by the no-look pass. Jason Williams, which I think I mentioned in episode 1, is another great deceptive passer. He had that crazy pass where he does like a behind the back, like the ball's going to go there, and then he passes it with his left elbow and the ball goes in the other direction. And the third player I love watching is the professor from N1, but talk about someone that is constantly misdirecting people is him, the professor. Yeah, I don't see any magic yet. Even Kise said it's not magic. the more tired he gets. Oh, because people start to study his patterns. That's true. Don't wait for someone don't wait for someone to ask you before you offer important information. And players... Oh, okay, so he doesn't get to guard him personally. Wait, so how is he gonna be matched up with Kise if they're gonna play zone? I hope they do some education on basketball technique and rules like they did in Haikyuu, because not many people might not know the difference between zone and man defense. Alright, here we go. Education time. This is an interesting zone defense, so they're trying to protect a particular lane, but they're still clumped up, focusing on Kise, because they're leaving the wings open, which will make it easy for people to kind of drive in from the baseline to make a layup or to shoot a 3 from the perimeter, which is the shortest distance for a 3. I don't know if it's the same for high school, but at least in the NBA professional, people tend to shoot 3s from the corners, like all the way near the back baseline, because that's the shortest distance, and you still get 3 points. Mataku. The no-look pass too? Was that a look? Was that a... Oh, was that a corner 3? Kaijo. Yeah, they put too many guys on Kise. This guy's facial expression is hilarious. I'm not really sure how to interpret it. He just looks like a confused animal. Maybe that's their version of anxiety, but has a very funny face. And he just sits there blinking with those weird lips. Oh, I love those scenes where they're just kind of spreading apart. Steal, damn. Rolling into the net. Uh-oh. Starting to have a better point differential. I think they might get crushed now that they figured them out. Not another block. Is he gonna break through? Oh, he just straight up blocked him. That is good. We need Kagami to be humbled. But this might fire up Kagami and make him even more charged up. He's saying they're just bigger. Not always true. The Golden State Warriors, undersized team, won a couple championships, but size does help a lot. But the fact that Kise still values Kuroko as a valuable player. And the ability to adapt. Really important. That's what Kise has over Kagami. Kagami looks defeated, but he's going to have the evil laugh. That's very anime. I love it. Kagami accepts the challenge. America. I'm not surprised that Kagami is used to this type of talk because in America, especially in basketball, trash talking is a huge part of the sport. And I think in Japanese culture, it's not going to be as prevalent because they're going to be more polite. Not to say that they don't talk trash, but definitely not nearly as much as America. So, not surprised that Kagami is not discouraged by that. Because that will just motivate him. Yeah, weakness. Kuroko didn't even talk about it yet, so curious what it is. Against a guy who's already invisible, it's impossible. You gotta be small to be invisible. Ooh. Before they explain why Kuroko is the weakness, I want to try to guess why Kuroko is the weakness. Maybe because he's the complete opposite. Small and crafty versus big and athletic. But I don't know how that could be a weakness. Maybe someone that could unify the team. That is the greatest weakness of the opponent. When a player can unify a team of lesser athletes to be a team of individual greater athletes, but not operate as well as a team. Also, on a side note, this conversation has been going on for like 3 or 4 minutes. I highly doubt that the referee would just let them talk endlessly for this amount on the court. But let's see if Kise understands what he means by that. That's a funny scene to end on. Episode 3 was much more exciting. Tons of action, lots of animations to break down and analyze. And now I'm starting to get the style of Kuroko. And I love how they animated not just his passing motions, but his hair being light blue just goes really well with his character. It's like a softer blue, but even though the color is a lighter color and it blends in a little bit, it's still easy enough to spot because it is a different color than everybody else. I think it's interesting that Kuroko's weakness is his ability to physically last longer, and that's what we call aerobic capacity, your ability to do work for longer periods of time, whether it's running, whether it's lifting. And honestly, that's one of the easiest qualities to improve. Strength, power, speed is a lot more challenging to improve, but aerobic capacity, you just gotta run more and your body can tolerate more work. So I'm hoping that throughout the series he's able to improve that part, because I would suck if that continues to be his weakness, and not a very cool weakness. But I like how the end of this episode with suspense, wanting you to watch the rest of the game and to see what Kagami means by Kuroko being Kise's weakness. So can't wait to watch episode 4 to see what that means.